We are kicking off with WWE, and on the road to WrestleMania 41, Jimmy Uso was slaughtered by Gunther as a handcuffed Jay could only look on, and the bloody Jimmy was unable to get up after the beatdown. Now Jimmy's return to action, albeit against a forgotten former champion in a match that WWE opted not to put on TV. Jimmy Uso's last in-ring appearance was back on the March 31st episode of Raw, where he went toe-to-toe with the ring general Gunther. Since then, he's been off the radar until WrestleMania, when he resurfaced to join the celebration after his brother captured the World Championship, marking a powerful family moment on the grandest stage of them all. Outside of that appearance, fans have seen little of Jimmy, who hasn't been in a single TV match, but made his return to the ring to battle Shinsuke Nakamura. Jimmy Uso and Shinsuke Nakamura actually faced off in a dark match prior to last week's SmackDown taping. Jimmy picked up the win with a combination of a super kick and a spear, but what's catching fans' attention isn't just the result, it's the fact that this match wasn't televised at all. Fans in attendance were quick to point out that a bout of this caliber easily belonged on TV, and now, according to unconfirmed reports, that may have originally been the plan. It's being said that Nakamura versus Jimmy Uso was slated for SmackDown, only to be moved at the very last minute. Additionally, those reports claim that a major backstage figure has pushed to keep Shinsuke Nakamura off television, and if the reports are true, the decision to pull his match at the last minute speaks volumes. Despite having won 8 titles in WWE, Nakamura hasn't been part of any major storylines for quite some time, as even his recent reign as US champion felt mostly forgettable to a lot of fans. It's hard to ignore the signs, as WWE seems to be quietly sidelining one of the most internationally respected stars in the game, despite his charisma, striking style, and international fan base. From winning the Royal Rumble and main eventing against AJ Styles at WrestleMania, to now quietly being taken off of TV without explanation, this isn't just a creative slump, it's a pattern. The decision to remove his match last minute, allegedly due to internal pushback, is more than just a scheduling issue. It could be a clear indicator that the higher-ups no longer see Nakamura as a top priority. What do you think? Has WWE dropped the ball on Nakamura yet again? Sound off in the comments below. As for Jimmy, there's no clear story for what's next for him, as Roman Reigns is now without a faction, but he may have to forge an alliance with CM Punk to face Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. With Jey Uso busy as World Heavyweight Champion, Jimmy has been left without much to do, though he has shared some segments with R-Truth regarding John Cena's heel turn. Those segments aren't expected to lead to something big though, and while it may be time for a bigger singles run, fans will have to wait and see what happens when he's back in the ring on TV. What would you like to see in Jimmy Uso's future, and how do you think WWE should book him? Share your thoughts down in the comments. We've got some sad news to report now, as Terry Brunk, better known to wrestling fans as Sabu, has passed away at the age of 60. PW Insider were the first to report on Sabu's death, calling the ECW legend one of the most vibrant and groundbreaking professional wrestlers of his era. Sabu was known for his high-risk offense that left his body covered in scars, and was a staple of the original ECW, where he was a world champion, TV champion, and tag team champion. Sabu wrestled in his retirement match just weeks ago, and on Facebook, videographer Joey DeFalco shared that it felt eerie to realize he'd been filming Sabu's true final match. DeFalco had been filming a documentary about Sabu's retirement, and his post included several clips from the match, which were going to be used for the documentary. The match was at GCW Joey Janela's Spring Break 9, where he beat Janela in a no-roped barbed wire match, a match that has now even deeper meaning following Sabu's passing. On Twitter, Sami Zayn shared that he had been pushing for Sabu to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame just weeks ago after Sabu wrestled in his final match. Zayn called Sabu's passing a gut punch and spoke highly of the late wrestler, adding that he was one of a kind, absolute legend, and a true game changer for pro wrestling. This is a sad day for wrestling fans, as a true icon of hardcore wrestling is passed, and our thoughts are with those who knew Sabu closest at this sad time. What were your 2 favorite memories of watching Sabu? Were you watching when he was in ECW, or did you only learn of him later into his career? Share your favorite memories below. WWE Backlash was a huge show for WWE, but it didn't go originally as planned, and now we know what changes had to be made. According to Fightful Select, WWE made major changes to the match order of the day of the event, altering the lineup that was originally shared by Corey Hayes. The original card had Dominic Mysterio versus Penta opening the show, while Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria was supposed to be the second to last match. Fightful's report reveals that most of the match order changed the weekend of the show, and that the final match order was switched around just hours before the event got started. One match that didn't change was John Cena versus Randy Orton, as unsurprisingly, these 2 icons battling for seemingly the last time was always planned to be the main event. Even with the show being shuffled, the event still delivered plenty of huge moments, but the last-minute changes have left some questioning WWE's reasoning behind the sudden changes. Backlash saw Randy Orton hit a series of RKOs during his match with John Cena, and when the official was out of action, he took aim at a series of producers and officials. While SmackDown GM Nick Aldis, Shane Helms, Sean Daivari, and Jamie Noble were all easily recognizable, one individual wasn't as well known to the WWE universe. The local competitor account on Twitter revealed that this final name was Austin Mulatalo, an independent wrestler currently holding the NWA WLW tag team titles alongside Blade Lennox. Mulatalo is a graduate of Harley Race's Wrestling Academy and has been carving out a name for himself on the indie circuit and even made his ROH debut in July 2024. During that appearance, Mulatalo ended up teaming with Cappuccino Jones and Carson Hutchison against Brian Cage, Bishop Khan, and Toa Leona. According to a report by Fightful Select, several independent wrestlers were present at the show, including Nixie XS, Mike Outlaw, Moses the Deliverer, and Skylar Sparks. Those talents appeared during Backlash as medics, while Campbell Meyer and Brandon Toll were also in attendance and were able to enjoy the event without being involved. Opportunities like this are important for independent wrestlers because they get valuable experience at a WWE event and gives them the chance to network with scouts and producers. With that in mind, we'll have to see if any of these indie talent go on to become WWE superstars, as being at Backlash could definitely help their careers in a big way. Now, Becky Lynch isn't holding back about her issues with Bayley, making it clear that the two WWE stars haven't been on friendly terms for years. In a revealing interview with Variety, Lynch discussed how their relationship took a drastic turn back in 2019 and that it's only gotten worse since. Lynch recalled that the tensions began as early as 2014 when she beat Bayley up during a match, and while the crowd cheered, Lynch believes it left lingering resentment. Matters escalated in 2019 when Bayley attacked her from behind with a steel chair, which Lynch described as the point of no return. She explained, "That was most of our ambition," Lynch said, referring to the Four Horsewomen's drive to dominate WWE. "Bayley just wanted to be liked as much as possible. I beat her up in 2014 and people loved it. In 2019, she hit me in the back with a chair, and we have not been in any way friendly since. In fact, we've been rivals in some capacity." Lynch's candid remarks come amid speculation about her backstage status, as Lyra Valkyria recently claimed that Lynch is no longer considered part of the women's locker room. There have been rumors that Lynch may be distancing herself from the roster, though at this time, Bayley has yet to respond publicly to her fellow horsewoman. Still, Lynch's statement paints a clear picture. Whatever bond they once shared is firmly in the past, and since 2019, the pair have crossed multiple times in the ring. The animosity between the two seems to have spilled into real life, as Lynch's comments suggest that the two have not reconciled and their backstage interactions remain strained. Adding to the tension, Lynch recently failed to capture the Women's Intercontinental Championship from Valkyria at WWE Backlash. Despite the loss, she made a statement by attacking Valkyria after the match, suggesting that her frustrations may be affecting her behavior in and out of the ring and teasing a rematch. With tensions running high and Lynch openly addressing her issues with Bayley, it remains to be seen whether their conflict will erupt in the ring or continue to simmer backstage. CM Punk's potential involvement in WWE's upcoming Night of Champions event in Saudi Arabia has sparked debate among fans about whether Punk has any say in the matter. Punk was seen in a promotional video for the June 28th event, but his prior criticism of WWE's partnership with Saudi Arabia has raised concerns about a potential behind-the-scenes pressure. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Brian Alvarez shared that while talent technically has the option to decline these shows, the pressure to participate is considerable. Alvarez added that Punk said he would never go, but noted that people say a lot of things, and Punk's opposition to WWE's Saudi events is well documented. In 2020, he told The Miz, saying, "Go a blood money covered in Saudi Arabia, you dork," after a comment by Miz Punk perceived to be in reference to himself. Now fans are calling him out for what appears to be a reversal of that stance, and on Twitter, one fan tweeted that Punk must love that Saudi money. Another said that Punk, who they referred to as Pepsi Man, was going to be drowning in blood money, and there have been plenty of accusations of hypocrisy and selling out. Whether Punk's participation is voluntary or the result of corporate pressure remains unclear, but all signs are pointing to him being at Night of Champions, despite his past stance. Did CM Punk really have a choice in going to Saudi Arabia, or was he pushed into it by WWE management? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, Jeff Cobb has arrived in WWE, but WWE has just added fuel to the speculation surrounding the future of the former New Japan and Ring of Honor performer. On May 10th, WWE filed a trademark for JC Mateo for the use at wrestling events and online, and the timing of this trademark has raised some eyebrows. Given the JC portion of the name, many think this will be a new name for Cobb, who made an immediate impact with his debut during the WWE Backlash opening Fatal 4-Way. Cobb jumped the barricade during the match that featured Jacob Fatu, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest, and his attack on Knight at ringside stunned fans. This attack allowed for Fatu to hit a moonsault and secure the win, and on the post-show, Big E referred to him as a man once referred to as Jeff Cobb. Despite this, WWE.com's official recap and photo gallery still have him labeled as Jeff Cobb, with a photo gallery reading that Jeff Cobb attacks LA Knight in shocking debut. It appears WWE has yet to decide on a new identity for Cobb, but the JC Mateo trademark could be a sign of a rebranding for Cobb in a common move for outside talent joining WWE. This wouldn't be the first time a WWE has altered a wrestler's name, as the promotion often trademarks names to assert control over a character's brand. Do you think WWE should rebrand Jeff Cobb under a new name, or should he keep the one he has? Please share your thoughts and feedback in the comments section below. On the post-Backlash press conference, R-Truth interrupted John Cena to praise his childhood hero, saying John is the greatest even though people say he can't wrestle. That didn't sit well with Cena, who after threatening Truth, dropped him with an AA through the table, leaving the veteran laid out on the stage. This wasn't just an attack though, but was the start of something big, as Corey Hayes of PWN reports that Truth will face Cena later this month at Saturday night's main event. Speaking on the Insight podcast earlier this month, Truth said he'd love the chance to face Cena, though was unaware if John would be receptive to the idea. Now fans can expect the pair to do battle, and we'll have to see what kind of match is delivered when the Unseen 17 battles the man who has idolized him for years. Is this a match you want to see, or is the fun-loving Truth challenging Cena for the gold a waste of one of John's remaining WWE appearances? Share your thoughts down below. At Backlash, Becky Lynch came up short at Backlash in the Women's Intercontinental title match to Lyra Valkyria, but why did the Valkyrie retain? On the Wrestling Observer Radio, it was shared that the likely plan is for Lynch to win the gold down the line, but this match was more about establishing Valkyria first. Had Lynch beaten Lyra in their first match for the IC title, it would have only told fans that Valkyria is not on Lynch's level and likely never will be. Now fans will know that Lyra can hold her own against this heel version of Lynch, making their potential rematch all the more compelling. If Lynch beats her to win the gold, she'll be beating a bona fide star as opposed to winning the title on her first try from a relatively fresh face on the main roster. Do you think Lyra's victory was the right call, and what do you make of WWE's reasoning behind this decision? Let us know in the comments section down below. As we said, Lyra is a relatively fresh face on WWE's main roster, as she was only called up last year, and the Valkyrie has opened up about her move from NXT to Raw. During an appearance on The Takedown, Valkyria shed light on the contrasting atmospheres and schedules between being an up-and-comer on NXT and an established Raw talent. She said, "It's a very different environment. Like NXT, you have the same crowd all the time. It's a much smaller arena. The NXT people are going to the PC every single day. They're in this routine." Valkyria added that the travel schedule is heavier as a Raw superstar, but despite this demanding schedule, she's embraced her new routine and found some positives. She said, "I also get a lot more time off to work on things as well, whereas I feel like NXT, you're in there constantly. I personally love the travel. I feel like it's more trial by fire and with Raw, which I enjoy." Valkyria hasn't had the easiest move to the main roster, but the first ever Women's Intercontinental Champion is ready to face whatever comes her way in WWE. For years, Bea Priestley was known as Blair Davenport to fans, and after her release from WWE earlier this year, she's not holding back when it comes to discussing WWE's restrictions. Speaking to Cultaholic in her first post-WWE interview, Priestley opened up about wanting to get a forearm tattoo, but this was more complicated than just walking into the parlor. She said, "I asked to get an arm tattoo within the company. This is when I was in NXT, and they basically just kind of gave me this whole spiel. It just seemed like a lot of hassle. I was like, okay, it's just easier for me not to do it than to do it." Priestley was lectured about how a new tattoo would mean having to reshoot promo pictures, which would affect scanning for games as well as adjustments for her entire branding. She added that she also felt pressure to keep her blonde hair, a look WWE saw as her signature style, in stark contrast to her days in Stardom where she would change her hair color every month. Priestley said that unlike Sasha Banks, who changed her hair color in WWE, she felt she didn't have enough momentum and sway backstage to get away with a change. She said, "Even changing my hair color, I kept blonde for so long because they kind of identified that as my look. When Sasha changed her hair color, it was because she turned heel after being babyface. I just felt like I never had enough behind me to do a drastic change like that." Now that she's out of WWE, Bea Priestley is ready to take full advantage of her freedom, including getting that tattoo. And did WWE hold her back from reaching her full potential? Speaking of released wrestlers, the Good Brothers made their return to New Japan by teaming with the Young Bucks. The 4-men won an 8-man tag team match against Gabe Kidd, David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Gato, and it was Carl Anderson who got the win for his team. Anderson and Doc Gallows were released from WWE earlier this year, and now the pair are ready to make their presence felt once again as part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. And we're ending with WWE, and though the company has come a long way with its treatment of women, ageism is still a concern to many, with female talent often being given a far earlier shelf life than their male counterparts. This is an issue that extends beyond WWE, but at the Backlash pre-show, Big E spoke up in support of women who have often been cast aside as they grow older. He said, "The way we talk about age with the women and the way we talk about age with the men, and for a lot of the women who are in their late 30s, it's, oh, you're winding down. When are you ready to get out? But look, it feels 75% of the male side is 38, 39, 40, 45, so let's give the women the same honor and the same grace as well." Big E's comments come after Becky Lynch touched on similar themes, saying that many see it as time she moves aside for younger stars, and the same isn't asked of the men. Lynch, who is 38, name-dropped her husband Seth Rollins, also 38, and CM Punk, who's 46, saying that no one is asking either man to not be in big matches and give others a chance. While WWE has made great strides in its handling of women, there's clearly still work to be done, at least according to the talent themselves. Well, what do you think? Should women in wrestling be allowed to age without fearing that their spot is going to be taken away? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments.